Hello, this is David with Shepherd's Loft, owned by Bright Meal, and today we're talking about how to prepare for WordPress hosting. And so you just know that any of the websites that we look at today, that we don't own those websites and we can't be responsible for any of the results that they yield. So just a little common sense there. So these are house rules. Just remove the distractions and kind of just focus in on what you want to do with your website. So grab your favorite beverage and maybe grab a pen and paper and make some notes. So this is my promise that in this webinar you will have a simple WordPress hosting evaluation system to be able to figure out where your business is, where your online assets are. And this evaluation has helped dozens of businesses be successful. So this will increase your chances of completing your website and making sound decisions, economical and both secure decisions about your WordPress hosting. You will learn how to look up your domain name registrar and what DNS management is. You also learn how to look up your website email records, and then we're going to talk about managed WordPress hosting. So, and don't forget to stay till the end for the special bonus, and then we'll also have some great information there for you. So why WordPress? Well, WordPress makes up 25% of all the websites in the world. Other website systems fail. So I would like to give you, I found a nice little article about 6 reasons why websites fail. So I want to show you that article. 6 reasons your website fail. Here's the first reason down here. They're just not built right. A lot of the websites are still running old technology. 93% of small business websites are not mobile compatible. That's almost completely unpractical. There's no way that you can run your business. I believe mobile is going to be pushing 50% of your audience next year is going to be mobile compatible. So that's a killer. Just even if we don't go any further, this is an absolute killer for your business. You need to be mobile compatible. The second thing is social media. There are companies that, a lot of local businesses just have a Facebook page. At least that's something. At least they're covering the social media aspect of it. But I always recommend that you try to get, you cover your bases when you're trying to build your online presence. But 80% of the small business websites have no social media links. We just got to do better than that. 74% of websites lack an email link or homepage for consumers. I mean, if you just have a button that links to a contact page, well, then that's number 4. A lot of 65% don't have a form to fill out. This is essential. You don't want to expose your email address on your website for all the robots to grab and send you a whole bunch of spam. You really want to have a form on there that protects your email address from getting spammed and gives your customers a way to contact you. And you can see number 5 there is just having a phone number that's prominent on your website, maybe in your footer or your header of the website on every page. And then 56% of the small business struggle with SEO, and there's some very basic things that you can do. It's not rocket science. It's very easy, just so that you can get out there and get listed. So let me skip back down to where I was. So the security is key. Keeping your website clean. The support is paramount. You've got to have a peace of mind that there's somebody there that can answer your questions and who you can go to. Knowing who to go to and knowing that they can answer your questions gives you a real nice sense of, okay, I really can do this. I can have an online presence and build my business. And then something else that's kind of new is license management. There are so many plugins and themes and tools, and there are lots of great and awesome tools that you can plug into your website to be able to do these marketing aspects. But it takes time to keep track of all those things, and so that's a kind of a new part of managed hosting that we can look at. Shippers Loft has been helping clients for over 15 years with their web presence. We've had hundreds of small business owners. We're the only company that services small business with fully managed WordPress hosting. Like I said, the licensing key is a whole new thing, and it can get complicated. You know, when you buy bundled products, sometimes your updates don't happen, and it really kind of, so one piece goes bad, then the whole thing is bad, and you don't want that. So, and we're actively involved in the WordPress community. We're producing daily how-to videos on YouTube, and we're just trying to educate people with the best practices on WordPress. So here's a story about a small business. They knew they needed a website, but they didn't know where to begin. They talked to all their friends and family, but no one's, you know, at the end of the day, it's your business, it's what you care about, and you know, other people are not, you know, they're not involved as much, or they're not as concerned as much as you would be. So it's really hard to find that help, that trusted help when you need it. So the realization is that they had to hire an expert to get their website completed. You know, sometimes this can be pretty costly, so it's important to know at least the fundamentals and the basics of what they needed to do. So here's the journey. They had to find someone they could trust and who cared about the success of their business, and was also sensitive to their wallets. So they did a little research, and you know, they registered a domain name. They found out WordPress was the most dominant content management system on the planet. So they knew that that's what they needed to use. So they got their business back on track, and they were communicating with their customers, and that made their customers happy. Then the sharing began. You know, through social media, they began to tell others about their business and what was going on, and the business really started seeing some results. You know, so we want to help small businesses, and this is where the partnership comes into play. I've devoted my career to helping small businesses use WordPress for communication and marketing purposes. I've helped hundreds of people grow their small business, and I can help you with yours. So just imagine this success, the financial independence, flexible schedule. If there's one thing that I've learned that I can make or break your success, I will get to that a little bit later. Now is the time, because you need your website running smoothly. You want the results our solutions have to offer, because all small business owners constantly fight technology barriers to get their online presence running smoothly. And you know, hackers are creating new spyware and malware programs every second, infecting thousands, 5 to 10,000, WordPress websites every day, and yours could be next. Step 1: knowledge transfer. You want to be able. You need to look up your website. So who is information? You want to know. So let me show you how to do a who is lookup. So one of the websites I use just to do a who is lookup, because I know where the link is, it's down here in the bottom, is networksolutions.com, and under resources right here, who is search, you can click on that. And you see the little box here, you can type in your domain name and just click the search button. So this is really important. So maybe you registered the domain and you forgot where it was registered, or you forgot when it's going to expire. So this is a really helpful little tool just to look up this information. You can see my domain name is here. Registered expiration date. Okay, so it expires on the 2nd of September in 2016. So there's the information that I need, and I also can tell what my registrar email address is. It's the accounting@shepherdsloft.com down here. So that's really important to know in case I lost my password or something like that. I can know where the information is going to go, and that happens a lot. So that's a real simple process to be able to go to networksolutions.com, look up your who is information, know when your domain's going to expire, when it's going to renew, and know what your email address is to be able to recover if you've lost your information. So what is DNS? DNS is domain name system. And that translates your domain name, which is easy to use, remember, like Shepherd's Loft. That's easy to remember, but it may not be easy for, you wouldn't remember your IP address. So just imagine if your phone number was twice as long. You don't want to go ahead. You can't make everybody remember your phone number to get to your website address. A name is much easier. So that address is needed for the purposes of the computers and the devices worldwide. So now that you have a DNS, domain name system, you know what that is. There's also management of that system. So the DNS management is when the user's control of the DNS, allowing the domain name owner to control which computer or server has the email or website information. So you can, shepherdsloft.com, it can point to a hosting provider in California, or it can point to one in Chicago. So by going in there and changing the name server for that provider in those locations, it's able to reroute all the traffic on the internet that punch in my website address, my domain name, to that location. So here's kind of a little graph that I try to draw to kind of explain or show how that works. So in the DNS management, you register your domain, and then by changing your name server, you can control different aspects of your hosting. So the different aspects are, one is your email. Your email hosting can be on a completely different computer than your website hosting. So maybe your email is hosted in California and your website is hosted in Chicago. Well, then you can also have some, and then out to the side you also have CNAMEs. CNAMEs are kind of like aliases. www. is an alias for just shepherdsloft.com. So you can type in shepherdsloft.com or www.shepherdsloft.com and get to my website hosting. But if you typed in mail.shepherdsloft.com, then it would take me to my email hosting. So that's how CNAMEs work. They're kind of like a little alias or a shortcut to help you get to the hosting or location that you want to get to. So the website hosting, those records are referred to as A records, or also known as an HTTP lookup. And then also your email uses MX records, MX for mail, MX records. So you can be registered with one provider, and you can put a domain name, a name server in there, and then you can manage your hosting, which is actually not on this chart. You can manage your hosting at a separate place, and then you could have that DNS management point to a third location being your website hosting, and a fourth location for your email hosting. So you really can divide your DNS management into as many as 4 different providers, and it even goes beyond that when you get into redundancy. So our next topic here is just how to look up your your host records. You know, so this is really important. So maybe you registered a domain and you don't remember where your email is being hosted or where your website's, or maybe you're in the process of transferring and you want to be able to verify, you know, which provider has your services. So let's go over looking how to look up CNAMEs and A records. Okay, so first we're going to do a little MX record lookup. So the MX record again is my email hosting provider. So I'm using mxtoolbox.com, which is one of my favorite tools. Oh, okay, we're still thinking. Okay, here it comes. And we can see that our mail records are on serverdata.net. You know, so it says your email service provider's Intramedia. So instantly I know that my email is being hosted over here by this provider. And if I have a problem with my email, I can contact that provider. So let's also, there's a little drop down here on the right, and we can go even a little further, and we can look up an HTTP lookup, which this would be my website hosting. So once you select it, then you have to click it, and you'll see the little gear turn. So now it's going to tell me, you know, what kind of server I'm running. Apache connection there, and then, you know, then I also can do these other options down here. So here's a whois lookup as well. There's a DNS check and a DNS lookup. So I'm going to check out this. The DNS lookup shows my A record, which is here, the type A record, forshepherdsloft.com, and there's my IP address. So it automatically tells me which IP address for which computer is being used. And down here, reported by DNS2.stabletransit.com, that tells me which server that my website is being hosted on. So you can see you can cipher out a lot of valuable information using this MX Toolbox website. So those are A records, MX records, and your CNAMEs. You can check those as well. So if we want to go back and check where my mail, so these can be separated. Again, if you're transferring your mail, your CNAME may be different than your MX record until you've got your emails transferred. So this says no record exists, so maybe I don't have one set up for this particular domain. Oh, I didn't. DNS lookup. Okay, sorry. We want to change to MX lookup, or CNAME was what we were doing. Takes a second to find it in the list. Here it is down here. My cursor was right on it. Okay. So again, I didn't have one set up for there. It's being controlled by Stable Transit. So this is actually my name server right here, and that's important. So now I know that all of my DNS is being managed at this domain, at this location by this provider. So what is managed hosting? Well, the same aspects as before, security. So managed hosting is about automatically blocking, protecting, and removing viruses. This is very, very essential because if you are not doing this and your website gets infected, then Google will automatically pick that up, and then it'll post a message out for everybody to see in the Google results that, hey, this site may be hacked. And you don't want to discourage people from visiting your website. Support. This is the constant upgrade and fixing and monitoring of your website. Again, you want to keep those upgrades going because that's going to make your website more secure. But sometimes things break, and that, you know, this is life. So then it's just a matter of fixing it, and that's how we find out is through monitoring. So by monitoring 24/7, when we do an upgrade, if something breaks, then we can fix it as soon as possible. And the other aspects is the license management. It's very easy to forget to renew your domain or renew your hosting, or you didn't put in your plugin or themes API key or your username and password for that. So we can manage all those aspects for you. Step 2, okay, preparing for the file transfer. Preparing to transfer is about your domain or your emails or your website files, like your WordPress installation itself. So one of the things, if you're looking to transfer your domain, you're going to need to know about authentication code. So the way this works is that you request your authentication code, and then you can give that or to the new provider that you're transferring to. Without the code, then you can't authorize the ability to move the domain from one registrar to another. So, and I didn't prepare a slide for this. I do have a little referral here. So if you were transferring to GoDaddy, or away from GoDaddy, I should say, you can just Google, authorization code for GoDaddy, and it gives you very specific instructions on how to find that authorization code. So you can log in your account manager, you go to domains, you click on manage, and then in the additional settings you click on authorization code link, and then you click email my code. So what I would like to do is see if I can find you a graphic, a picture that kind of shows you or represents what we're talking about here. So I'm going to go to images, GoDaddy authentication code. So let's see if this picture here shows us. Okay, I'm not sure if this one is 100% up to date. It looks a little fuzzy, but you can see this says here's email the code is probably what that says, and this definitely says authorization code over here. Let's see if we can find one that's a little more clear. Okay, here's one here. So again, authorization code sent by email. Okay. So if you were preparing to transfer your WordPress website to another hosting provider, one of my favorite tools is the WP Move. I can show you that one. So it's a WordPress plugin, WP Move. So you can just Google that. It's probably comes up at the top of the list. Here we are. So this plugin has a built-in feature to be able to FTP your website from one location to another, which is pretty slick. However, it's limited by the size of your website, the size of your database, the size of your media files. So the way I use the WordPress Move is that I install it, I do just a database backup only, and then I'm able to download the entire website, the WordPress core files, the include files, your media files, everything together. And so with the themes and the plugins, then I have the WordPress Move puts the backup into the plugin folder. So when I download the entire thing, I'm downloading my backup as well. If you don't have FTP access through the WordPress Move tool, you can do a full backup, and then you can right click and save that full backup to your computer. So once you have that, you can unzip it, or you can email it to your new provider, and you're ready to go. So once you get that uploaded into your new hosting platform, it's really simple to go in and hit the restore button and restore your website from the old provider. Migrating emails is a whole nother animal. it's a bit tricky, but there's a great tool out there for that. I'll show you that that we've used. It's called BitTitan, which is bittitan.com with 2 T's. This is very affordable. I believe it's only something like $12 or something per email box. So you can set up your project and you can migrate your emails from one provider to the next. I don't really recommend you doing this on your own, but just knowing that this can be done is great. So there's a couple of different aspects. If you only have like an IMAP or POP account, then you're probably only going to be able to transfer your emails or migrate your emails from one server to the next. Like if you wanted to go from Network Solutions to GoDaddy, or from Network Solutions to Google. But if you have an Exchange, then you have additional options. You'll be able to transfer or migrate your contacts as well as all of your emails. So, but BitTitan is a great tool for doing that. So, preparatory notes, as we're going through this and as you're preparing to, either build your website for the first time or to migrate, if maybe you're just taking notes about, maybe you're just taking an assessment of where your online assets are, where your domain is registered, where your DNS is managed. This is all very good information because, like I said, if something goes wrong, then you kind of know where to look and who to go to get support. I mean, you can really waste a lot of time not knowing, because you didn't know where something was or who to contact. So if you contact the wrong person, then they're going to say, well, I'm not going to help. If you're lucky, they might say, hey, well, this is who your registry is, you need to contact them, or this is your host, or this is your email host, then you need to contact this company. So, but you can kind of bypass a lot of that administrative work by having this done up front. So document everything that you do. Save all your usernames and passwords. There are encrypted password protectors, kind of like 1Password. It's an application that you can buy to save your passwords. But the best thing you can do is just rely on experts. Get an expert to do what it is that you want to accomplish, but just be informed about what you have and what you want to do with it. So after you transfer your domain or your website, a good thing, go back and use the MX tools. Make sure, verify that your MX records are where they're supposed to be, your A records are correct. Test your email accounts, make sure that they work. Check your CNAMEs, test your contact forms. Make sure they're going to your email box, the right email box at your business. So step 3 is, a major success secret. I promised you earlier that I would show you a secret, and so here it is. Consultation. Hire a company, not an individual. Who will provide you with the technical support and knowledge that you need to get through the process. A lot of people want to cut the budget on hiring a project manager, but that's very essential to making sure you get from start to finish. If you don't have a project manager or a consultant, that's in charge of your project and contacting all your vendors and making sure that your project is going to the next step, then you have a high rate of failure. And oftentimes, if you're the business owner, you're busy with other things. The easiest thing you can do is get a consultant. The second thing is, get support. Even if you if you can't afford a consultant, maybe you just want to buy some support service. That way you can you can ask them questions. Get knowledgeable experts through support that can point you in the right directions as you move along. So this is pretty simple, right? Now that you know 100% of the technical process and you've documented your current assets, this will increase the chances of you stabilizing your website and successfully hosting your website, WordPress website. You just need the best WordPress managed hosting solution for small businesses. Our managed solution will provide step-by-step, day-to-day support for all the technical aspects. It'll reduce your time fighting the hackers and spammers. And it'll save you money with integrated automated solutions. So this is our exclusive offer. You get 10% off your next annual hosting purchase. Depending on what level of package that you purchase is $44 or more. You get free migration services. So for all the things that I've talked about today, we're willing to do those for free. We will migrate your domain name. We'll manage your DNS. We'll migrate your WordPress website. So there's a $375 value there. And also a free security scan and virus removal. We're not going to, we even have to do that before it even comes onto the new platform. We want to make sure that your website is 100% virus free or malware free before it goes on to our hosting service. And then we want to keep it that way. So we're going to get it clean and we're going to keep it that way. The bonus is, I want to help you with your marketing. We will set up a social follow and your share setup. So there's a couple of plugins or plugin that we can install on that. If you give us your Facebook link and your Twitter link, we'll put those in there and add it to your website. So, I didn't explain this earlier, but social follow is when you post a link onto your website that links to your Facebook page, so that people can go see what's going on your Facebook page. A social share is when somebody can share your web page onto their Facebook page or their Facebook account. That gives you more exposure for your website. So that's over $600 in savings and bonuses that you'll receive just for attending this webinar. This offer is only good for the next 24 hours. So here's some specific instructions for you. Get a customized recommendation. So you can see that at bit.ly/shepherdsloft101. It's going to ask you some questions, and it's going to provide you with kind of a financial decision on where you need to be with your managed hosting service provider based on what the purpose is of your website. So once you get your hosting recommendation, you can follow the specific link that you get to begin the checkout process, and then you can enter the provided 10% off discount. Again, the code is Webinar101 is the discount code. So think about it. If you do nothing, you will stay stuck in the same situation. But what if you take an action right now and fill out the form, giving yourself the best possible chance to fortify your website hosting and get your business rolling. Be confident in the fact that you will have the support you need to properly host your WordPress website. So click the button below to get your customer recommendation now. Again, this offer is only good for the next 24 hours. And then after that, you finish the checkout process. We'll begin processing your order. It normally takes about 48 hours for our engineers to install and add the licensed products. This is not an automated process. This is a very, our engineers will be working on that, so they don't usually work weekends. So this is nor holidays. So this is Monday through Friday 9 to 5 is our basic business hours. So in 1 to 2 business days we'll have your new WordPress website installed, and we'll put in all the licensed products that you need to do your marketing. So click on the link below and get started now. Again, don't forget this is the next 24 hours only. It doesn't hurt anything to get this recommendation, even if you don't have any money or you're not ready. Just go ahead and fill out that recommendation form so that you know that where you need to be, what you need to do with your website. So even if you're scared, you don't think it's going to work, or you don't think you have the money or the time, just don't wait any longer. The longer you wait, the more difficult. The sooner that you can get your website up and going, the sooner you're going to get some SEO results. The sooner you're going to get found online, the quicker that you can build your business. So again, those specific instructions, go to the customized recommendation. Get the customized recommendation for your hosting. That's at bit.ly/shepherdsloft101. Once you get your hosting recommendation, you'll get a link for your purchase, and I look forward to seeing you on the other side. Thank you very much for watching.